Hi, welcome to Ramblin's Top 20 Favorite Audios of 2023. Woo!
Yay!
I'm Kevin Earlywine,
I'm Cole Michael Kurtz.
and with us is the host of Ramblin Gramling, Melissa Gramling. Woo!
Hi.
Thank you so much for inviting us to do this, Melissa. This is really kind of fun. Cole and I are both narrators, and we don't get to talk about a lot of audiobooks. And so this is, I mean, we talk about it during Coffee Talk with Kevin, but to like go down the list of your favorite audio is kind of fun. So
And there were so many new ones this year
yeah,
that just basically grabbed a hold of me and didn't want to let go. So
yeah,
making this list was extremely hard.
yeah,
Last year's was worse because it was only a top 10.
sure.
So, and I knew that this year with so many good books that I've read that turned
Yeah.
into audios, it had to have been more.
So when you come up with this list of top 20 audios, Melissa, what do you look for in an audio when like do you just know this is going to be in the top 20, or what do you do at the end of the year?
Basically how well the book was written, how well it got narrated, and if it made me squirm or not. Because everybody loves a good squirm factor.
Right?
And possibly how growly the narrator could be. And if they made pretty noises, which most of the books in here did. Yeah.
It's kind of a requirement when you're narrating. You got to be ready to make the pretty noises. So we're going to start today with our honorable mentions. So our first up is number 5.
And that would be Sworn Enemy. It is book 1 of the Wild Heart Ranch series, which is a spinoff of the Rebel Sky Ranch series by Kelly Fox. And it's narrated by Declan Winters. It was released on June 26th of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being a 5. Yeah, I gave this one a 5 bullet rating. Now to start off with how the bullet rating works, it goes from 1 to, it could be like a double bullet breaker.
Sure.
So 1 is like basically your church sweet romance book thing. They maybe kiss. There's a lot of flirting. A 2 is they get into it a little more. There may be some heavy petting and maybe a huge makeout session. 3, they go a step further from that into maybe some frottage and all that fun stuff. 4 is the a step up from that with like the how many sexy times there are in a book.
Okay.
And then you got the 5 bullet rating, which is a step down from the bullet breaker, which means it was just off the charts and wow. Then there's a double bullet breaker, which that doesn't go very often, but it has happened a couple times. And basically that is how well the scenes are written and how well they are narrated.
Sure.
Because if it's just like this person does this person does that, there's like a moan, I'm like, what? No. Perform the scene for me, please. Yeah. But that's that. I wanted to explain that one because I know me and John have talked about that a couple times.
Yeah.
Um,
Moving on on our honorable mentions, we have the number 4 below Sworn Enemy. We have our fourth entry, which is
it's Loathed Lagan, the Foster Brothers book 3 by Nora Phoenix, and narrated by John Solo.
Woo!
And I gave this one a 4 bullet rating. It was a student professor, enemies to lovers, which is I enjoy. I think it was one of best narrations John has ever done.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it was very well written for a slow burn. And I normally don't go for slow burns. There was an interesting phone sexy time scene
Oh, okay.
that John growled his way through. Um, and it was just a wonderful book. I loved the whole series, but that one was just a little bit better than in my mind.
All right. So the third honorable mention.
It is Moving On by Felice Stevens and narrated by Cale Williams. It came out January 27th of this year, and I gave it a 4 bullet rating as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Felice and Cale just are amazing. I got to yell at the characters throughout the whole book.
That's the best.
Yes, I love yelling at them. Miscommunication, just talk to them. But yeah, these two main characters ended up sharing an apartment after some miscommunication with one of the guy's brother-in-law.
Okay.
So they ended up sharing this apartment. And it has ties to one of her other series called the Man Up series, which Cale did as well. And I absolutely love that series too. Felice can do no wrong in my eyes. Cale can't do any wrong either, but yeah. And Cale doing a husky voice for one of the MCs was an amazing thing. And also Cale talking about the food kale, something that I never thought I needed.
Oh, sure.
It was quite
I
entertaining.
wonder how many times Kale has encountered that. Kale encountering Kale. Shouldn't be.
Only in one book though, so far that I know of.
Yeah, that'd be a good book title. Kale on Kale. I love the cover too. That is a nice cover.
Yeah, it was.
Whoever designed that, nice job.
Gotta love a man bun.
All right, the second on our honorable mention list.
It's Good Behavior, which is book 2 from the Wild Heart Ranch series by Kelly Fox and narrated by Declan Winters. This
Okay.
one came out the 29th of June, and I gave it a 5 bullet rating.
Okay.
So, but Kelly and Declan just work so well together, and they're
Match made in heaven.
yeah, and there's several narrators and authors that have that, and I know you and Ducky Mack are one of them.
Yeah.
You got Nora and John being the other one, Lucy and Michael Dean, and the list goes on and on. But
After a while, it's like it's like learning a second language almost. Like if you know how to read a certain author, it's like becoming reacquainted with an old friend. You know, you can narrate that a book with an author that you've done a lot. It's like putting on an old, an old hat or something. It's just great.
oh, and also in this book, Kelly and Declan make eating a Twinkie sexy as hell.
Now we should have led with that.
Yeah, I should have led with that, but yeah, I'm also reading my notes, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the book where the sexy Twinkie scene happened in a truck.
Stuff.
Not twink, but Twinkie. Yeah.
All right, and then number 1 on our honorable mentions list
is Castor by Jacqueline Osborne. This one was a 5 bullet rating. It's from the Sons of the Fallen series, book 2.
Okay.
Nick J. Russo narrates this one. And it came out April 19th of this year.
All right. right. And now we're going to be heading into our top 20 list of Melissa's favorite audios of 2023. And our 20th is.
Damon. It's Sons of the Fallen Book 3 by Jacqueline Osborne and Nick DeRusso. And it came out the 26th of, what was that, June? Yeah. I gave this one a 5 bullet rating. And the Sons of the Fallen series deal with the 7 deadly sins. But they're in like angel form, I guess. I don't. They got wings, which is apparently an erogenous zone for some of them. And just play with the slit. I'm like, okay, but all right. Yeah, this one we end up with more dragons. There's dragons in there. There's an arranged marriage between a dragon and one of the 7 deadly sins. This one's envy. And there's also a forked tongue involved.
Okay.
And Nick makes some pretty noises. Of course he does.
All right, and the 19 on our countdown.
We have Daddy Cam
Ooh.
by K.M. Newhold. Oh my god, it was pure porn, pretty much. It was this one was a bullet breaker. Saxon and Felix are the 2 main characters. They're best friends and roommates. Felix owns a company while Saxon has a Daddy Cam channel.
Oh, okay.
And Felix finds this, and he's had a major crush on Saxon for quite a while, ever since they met. And Nick moaning daddy in a twink voice is one of my favorite things.
I'll have to check this one out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love it, daddy.
All right, and then
sorry, that made me giggle.
18 on our countdown
is Ghosted Deceit by Alice Winters. It's from Medium Troubles, Book 3, and narrated by Greg Boudreau. It came out the 20th of January, and her books are more story-oriented with very little sexy times in there. I mean, they do have it, but it's just like an afterthought almost.
Okay.
But, I mean, it was a 5-star rating. Alice and Greg are perfect together, and this book made me ugly cry at one point in time, but I can't say why because it's a major spoiler. I do believe there is a 4th one coming. I'm just not sure. But I love Alice and Greg together.
All right, and 17 on the countdown
is Protection, Mobsters and Billionaires, Book 2 by Kelly Fox and narrated by Declan Winters. And it came out April 25th. And this one has a bullet breaker rating. It was Book 2. And the 2 main characters were amazing. Declan did a wonderful job. And we got to meet the excitable murder puppy that would be Hopper.
Oh, okay.
And Declan can make some pretty noises as well. Yeah.
All right, coming in at number 16, we have
Cat's Chance in Hell, Charm City Chronicles Book 2 by Megan Maslow. It's also narrated by Greg Boudreau. And it came out the 7th of February. Okay. And this one was a bullet breaker rating. This is with 2 shifters. One's a Siamese cat and the other one's a Rashaka. No, or Okay, I can't even say it. But there's like a play on words. They live in Baltimore. One of the main characters in the first book was Poe, who was a raven.
Okay, yeah.
But so it was like play on Edgar Allan Poe, and
Oh, cool.
it was this one was amazing as well. It was enemies to lovers, and it just I need to do a re-listen soon.
I really want to read that one too. This is like just all things I want to listen to now. All right, coming in at number 15.
We have I'll Be There, Runaway Grooms, Book 1 by Charlie Cochet, also narrated by Greg Boudreau, and it came out the 19th of April.
Okay.
And this one was a 4 bullet rating. It's book 1 of a spin-off series called The Runaway Grooms, based off of the 4 King Security series. And the 2 main characters are this one is like a second chance fake relationship trope.
Okay.
And it had murder birds, big huge swan running after everybody. And there's extremely hot, sexy times, of course, and I do highly recommend this series.
Okay.
This whole universe. I'm actually currently re-listening to the 4 King Security books.
All right, coming in at number 14.
We have Savior Complex,
Okay.
Wild Heart Ranch Book 3 by Kelly Fox, narrated by Declan Winters.
Daddy on this
Daddy.
cover.
And this one was a bullet breaker. Declan doing Javier's voice was extremely sexy.
Okay.
And they both knocked it out of the park with this one. And we get to see some familiar faces with some characters from her other series, because she does that. So every other series will have somebody from like the previous series
Okay.
come in, and it all ties in together.
Nice having that continuity.
All right. And then number 13 on our list
Is If Only in My Dreams by Kiera Andrews, narrated by Greg Boudreau. I sense a theme going on. And this one was like a Christmas book. I gave it a 4 bullet rating. Gavin and Charlie are the 2 main characters. They're childhood friends, and after an event that happens, they drifted apart, only to end up in a shared rental car driving across the country to get home for Christmas.
those shared rental cars will get you.
One of them took the last one, and the other one needed to get home, and they only lived like down the road from each other. So, but they were in California and needed to get home to Connecticut.
I feel like I saw this book everywhere this past year. I saw it on a lot of I guess it just came out in the last couple weeks. Came out in September, but
Yeah.
I feel like I saw this all over. Everybody was reading this.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first Christmas books that came out early,
Okay.
I think. I've had it in my library since then, and this is my actually first time reviewing this book.
Okay.
So some of these on this list are going to be like first time reviews, you would say. So hopefully somebody will get out of this and be like, "Ooh, I like that."
I'm getting all of them I want to listen to now. All right, and then number 12 we have another Kelly.
This one was Distraction, book 4 of Mobster and Billionaire series with Liam and Hopper.
Okay.
Hopper's my favorite character Kelly does, and the one I call the excitable murder puppy. Declan is amazing with Hopper. He does Hopper's voice so well. He'll like sneak up on you when you least expect it and just be like, where did you come from? So,
Yeah.
but this whole series, all of her books are just amazing. And there is some hot gunplay in this one as well.
Oh. Oh, okay. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, coming in number 11, we've got
Anti-Hero by Kelly Fox and Declan Winters. This one was a bullet breaker rating. It was book 4 in the Wild Heart series, with Ant and Eric being the 2 main characters. And once again, Declan knocked it out of the park. Excuse me. Eric's inner thoughts about Ant were not safe for work, but it was bittersweet to see the end of the series be this. We did get a spinoff from this series called Lost Boys series, which just started.
Okay. I'm gonna have so much stuff to listen to after.
Yeah, you're not gonna have time to listen to it all.
Yeah. I have to find time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, number 10. We're entering the top 10
Yay!
favorite audios of the year.
Strap in, everybody.
Yep.
Strap in and strap on.
All right, at number 10, we have In a New York Minute by Felice Stevens and narrated by Cale Williams. This one came out the 6th of July.
I love this
And-
cover. This is a fun cover.
He's got some beautiful hair on that cover.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he looks like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John said he looked like Jesus.
I want to know what he's doing. Like, has he got a headache or like?
Is he in the
He's
shower?
probably doing the ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, John did that with another cover and he hasn't let that go. But this one was a 4 bullet rating and a first time review for
Okay.
this one. This was Garrett and Remy. Garrett's grandmother rents a billboard in the middle of Times Square hoping to find him a husband.
That's what it is. That's that's what it
billboard.
is.
And Remy, who is I guess a rock star who currently lost his husband to cancer, sees the ad, they end up on a date and they start seeing each other. It was a slow burn for Felice.
Doesn't happen in a New York minute.
No, it doesn't actually. It ends up like 10 or 11 chapters before they even kiss each other. So
Slow burn.
it's a slow burn. But I loved every moment of it. Cale did an amazing job, and I did end up tearing up a time or two.
I'm excited to hear about this one.
Number 9.
It's not unusual to be loved by an alien. Tentacles. By Chloe Archer, narrated by Greg Boudreau. It came out January 16th. And I gave this one a 4 bullet rating. It was funny as hell. And yes, I did want to sing the title several times. This one had a perfect mix of funny, serious, and sexy times. And you can't forget the tentacles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many tentacles.
So the covers in Las Vegas, it kind of gives like a Mardi Gras kind of feel almost.
It's set in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there actually is a character in there that named himself as an alien, Tom Jones.
Great name.
But it's just Kai and River. River's like this almost this guy with ADHD who thought explosion, rambles, and doesn't know when to stop, basically. Kai is the sexy alien with tentacles who Greg does that old deep timber for. It's amazingly hot. So I love the book. I did love the second one. It just didn't make the countdown.
Mm.
The third one should be out any day.
Oh, cool.
Awesome, exciting. All right, number 8.
We have Galen, Sons of the Fallen, Book 1 by Jacqueline Osborne and narrated by Nick DeRusso. Came out the 13th of January. And this one was a bullet breaker. It was the first book from the series. Galen was Wrath. He falls in love with a human named Simon. And throughout this whole series, I've cried several times. She writes amazingly well, and Nick does creepy voices very well too.
Oh, cool.
Not just the pretty noises, but he makes creepy voices as well, and it's just amazing series.
Voicing the villains is the best part of being an audiobook narrator. It's a lot of fun.
There are several people that can do it. I mean, you can do it with the Silhouette book.
Oh God, he was scary.
And Michael Dean's got this creepy voice that he can do so well. And it actually scared me at one time. I'm like, no. But John does have a good creepy voice. So does Declan.
Yeah.
Those are the fun roles.
Yeah. Have to check.
Oh, yeah.
These are beautiful covers, Jacqueline Osborne. Nice. Whoever does your covers, these are beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
All right, number 7 on the list
is Can't Say Goodbye by Eden Finley and narrated by Tim Page. And it came out the 10th of February of this year. Now, this one was a bullet breaker. This book was basically a little sequel to the Franklin U series, which was a multi-author book series that I started listening to.
Okay.
And
I can't help you with that.
and Siri decided he was going to say something. One night there was like 3. It's a poly book.
Okay.
With Brady, Kit, and Prescott. One night of pure hot, sexy times ends up turning into the 3 of them meeting several times throughout the course of 2 years. Until they just can't stay away from each other any longer. And they end up they can't fight it anymore. And just end up together.
Yeah.
Also, I will never be able to hear the Beatles song Come Together the same way ever again.
I'm going to let that be.
You look who's got jokes.
I got jokes
Right.
today. All right, we are going on to number 6 on the list.
And this one is Revenge is Sweet by Felice Stevens, narrated by Cale Williams. And this one came out April 21st of this year. And it was also a bullet breaker. Lion and Miles are the 2 main characters. And it's an ex-best friend's younger brother trope, which is, I love those tropes. Like best friend brother, best friend's father, enemies to lovers. Yeah, I'm all for it. And it has a fake relationship trope all rolled into one.
Is that why he gets with the guy, is to get revenge on the old friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And I didn't want this one to end. I'd looked forward to it ever since Felice started promoting it. I'm like, ooh, and it's Cale. Yay. So, yeah, and they do it. It was just an amazing book. I loved it. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want to put it down.
All right, we're entering the top 5 favorite audios of 2023. The fifth entry is
Bad Wrong Things by C.P. Harris, narrated by Teddy Hamilton and Liam DeCosmo. This one came out the 18th of April, and it was a double bullet breaker.
ooh.
I read this book last year. It was the first book I ever read by this author
Okay.
because I kept seeing it everywhere. Everybody was like singing its praises, so I'm like, okay, I'll take a look. I convinced her to turn it into an audiobook.
Oh wow.
Oh, cool.
It was Best Friend's Dad, Possessive MC. There's some dubcon in it, but it was done perfectly well. There was more Liam than Teddy in this audio, but I felt that this was Liam's best narration. I know this book is not going to be for everybody, but this was just an amazing book to me. It didn't want to let go.
Okay.
It like sucked me in from the first chapter on, and I had such a book hangover after this one. And when I read it, I guess it didn't grab hold of me emotionally like it did when I listened to it. Because Liam getting extremely emotional over a certain part, it hit me differently than when I read it.
Sure.
And I ended up like ugly crying. But it was just an amazing book.
All right, coming in at number 4.
We have Take Me Apart, Vitali Brothers, Book 1, by Bria Aleppo and Skylar Snow, narrated by Declan Winters. And September 29th is when this one came out. And it was a bullet breaker. It was Enzo and Tex are the two main characters. Tex is a cop who's trying to make detective. Enzo is from the Vitali brothers, and it's a dark mafia book.
Okay.
Declan did amazing things, and the relationship between them is toxic as hell, but also extremely hot. And I was in there with Declan while he was narrating this one, and even then, he does such amazing work for any of it. I really enjoyed it.
All right, coming in at number 3, our top 3. Here we go. Number 3 is
A Very Filthy Game by Lauren Blakely, narrated by Joe Arden and Shane East. This one was a double bullet breaker. Gunnar and Rafe were the two main characters in this one. It was my first time ever listening to Shane East and Joe Arden. This was a duet narration, and it was extremely hot.
I mean that cover though.
There's like, especially in chapter 20, there was just like it was,
Was it duet, Melissa, where they were was it sections in each chapter, or were they each saying that character's lines to each other in the chapter?
They were saying each other's character lines to each other.
Well, I think if you're going to do duet, that's the way to go.
Yeah, and I seem to have fallen down a Shane and Joe rabbit hole after listening to this one and listening to several other of Lauren's books that they've done.
Sure.
And this one was not safe for work, and I strictly listened to this one at home.
Everybody out there, chapter 20.
Yes. I think just about everybody knows about chapter 20.
All right, number 2.
We have Say I Do, the Vitale Brothers book 3 by Bria and Skylar and narrated by Declan. And this one was a bullet breaker as well. Not a double, but a single. Yeah. Benito and Harlow were the two main characters. This was like an arranged marriage because Benito was supposed to marry somebody else, but ended up getting married to Harlow. And these two were more toxic than Tex and Enzo were. And Benito kept claiming throughout the book that he wasn't gay. We're like, yeah, okay. This was like just they were on fire with just every scene that they had. Hot as hell, angry sex was amazing. Declan did a fan-fucking-tastic job with these two. And I did not want this one to end.
All right, we are in the top spot, number 1 on our
Number
list.
1.
It's Fool's Heart by Emmy Sanders, narrated by Blake Lockhart, and it came out April 7th of this year. And I gave it a 5 bullet rating. And Wyatt and Easton were the two main characters in this one. They were best friends. It was unrequited love, and a story that spans decades. I guess they met when they were kids when they met, ended up being fast friends. And Wyatt pined, there was a lot of pining. Wyatt was pining over Easton for years. Easton had no clue. So I was yelling at them, mainly Wyatt. They were basically attached at the hip for most of their lives. This one made me cry. It stuck with me. And I was sucked in from the first paragraph until the very end of the book.
Yeah.
I haven't listened. Blake's a great friend. He's awesome. He's amazing. I haven't listened to a lot of his books, but I felt like this was his best that I've listened to so far.
Wow.
It was just amazing. I can't say enough about it. And Emmy really outdid herself with this book as well. It was beautifully written.
So the cover gives me Brokeback Mountain vibes. It looks like a really nice cover. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's in Texas, I do believe. I think one works at a ranch. The other guy does something else. They come together and leave so often in the book that it's you're like on an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's just amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's the top 20 and the 5 honorable mentions. Melissa, thanks so much for including us in the top 20 countdown and for being such an romance enthusiast. I so look forward to hearing all of your thoughts on fiction whenever we talk about it. And I know that authors really appreciate all you do for promoting their work and for getting the word out on all these great books. We as a community are grateful for you. So thank you and everything. We hope everybody enjoyed the top 20 countdown.
I hope so too. And hopefully you get something new to listen to if you haven't heard any of it yet.
Yes.
25 new options.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, everybody take care and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Bye.